ago says that when the blue star Kachina, a Kachina is like an elemental spirit, but they have dancers, Kachina dancers, who represent those spirits, and they're sort of possessed by them when they do their dances. When the blue star Kachina dances in the plaza and unmasks himself, that will be the end of the Hopi ceremonies, the end of the purification period, and the start of the emergence into the next world. There's also prophecies from the Maoris, for example. They say that in the beginning, their creation myth is they say that there was the earth god and the sky god, Rangi and Papa, were one on top of the other in a close embrace at the beginning of time, and as a result of that embrace they had children, more gods, that pushed their parents apart, so the sky was up and the earth was down here. But the second part of the prophecy says that one day, when the children of the war god, that is mankind, have forgotten about all the old ideas and forgotten to sort of honour the old gods, that at that time the sky and the earth will come crashing back together in a process that they call Kahingati A.R.E, which means the curtain will fall. Now that sounds like bad news, like the end of the play and it's all over. But a young Maori got to interview the old Maoris, and funnily enough he found that two of those words had mutated from their original meaning. Veil and rather the curtain and fall should have been veil and dissolve. And that's the same word that they use for the veil between life and death. So they're saying that the veil will dissolve. They're also saying that, by the way, this is happening in 2012. They've been specific. The veil will dissolve at that time between it forms the boundary between life and death. So, I mean, that again implies to me an extension of our perception beyond its current limits.
Are there any contemporary sources of information on the significance of 2012?
Yes, a lot of people have come back from altered states of consciousness, talking about 2012 specifically. Those altered states include near-death experiences. I know 5 people who've come back from near-death states talking about 2012. Out-of-body experiences, deep trance meditation. There are remote viewers who've been talking about it, people who've had lucid dreaming experiences, and also people who've taken hallucinogenic plants, sacred plants. The most famous of the near-death experience cases is Daniel Brinkley, who experienced a huge shock when he was talking on the telephone in 1975 during a thunderstorm. It threw him physically up to the ceiling, and from that point he was out of his body until in the ambulance his heart stopped, and he then experienced going down a tunnel into a very, very bright light, where he then had a life recall experience, re-experiencing all the things in his life where he'd actually had an effect on anybody else, but he experienced it from their perspective, all the pain and grief he caused people, and also all the joy he brought to people. And then after that, he was taken to a sort of crystal city and shown a series of 300 scenes from the future on kind of TV screens that sucked him in as if he was reliving or living in the future those scenes that were going to happen. And they included the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Chernobyl incident. By the time of 2000, of about 200, I think there was 117 major world events out of those 300 scenes, and there was only about 17 of those left to occur in 2002. And they culminated around from 1975 when it happened, his NDE, and 2012 to 2014, and they culminated with a series which he said there will be an increase of Earth changes, particularly between 2011 and 2012. That there were this was all connected up with the solar system or this part of the galaxy. I think he actually said something like an energy is coming to this part of the galaxy that has not been here for a long time, and it will cause an evolutionary opportunity for mankind. And then between 2012 and 2014 there would be a magnetic polar reversal of the Earth's field. Now, what is interesting about that is it ties up with one of the scientific theories that's been put forward to explain what is going on at the moment.
Can you explain that?
Well, it's apparent that these changes are going on, atmospheric and magnetic changes are happening through all the planets in the solar system, particularly noticeable on the outer planets where Uranus and Neptune have both had shifts of their magnetic field by up to 50 degrees. The solar system is going into a cloud of magnetized plasma. It's building up on the edge of the solar system, bleeding through to the sun. That's been responsible for increased solar output over the last few years, and it's also causing these changes to climate and magnetic fields throughout the solar system. And he says, to quote, "It will also cause a mass spontaneous evolution of mankind as we now know it." He also says it's responsible for the increase in plasma spheres, balls of light. And it ties in he also says that it will cause a magnetic reversal. So if you think about what Daniel Brinkley said back in 1975, that there's an energy coming to this area of the galaxy that hasn't been here for a long time that will cause an evolutionary opportunity for mankind and a switch of the fields. It's virtually identical to what Dmitriev is saying.
What do you think is the most likely scenario?
Well, I try to keep an open mind on all this because I'm a great follower of Robert Anton Wilson's philosophy, who says that if you keep an open mind on things, if you investigate something, you take on the belief system necessary to immerse yourself in that study, but at the end of it, you release yourself from that and take on your objectivity again, and then you're able to bring it to take on new information. The danger with investigating anything is if you get too attached to anything, then you get attached to a theory, information that doesn't support that theory, you start filtering it out, and then you get what he calls a reality tunnel. So that's a philosophy I try to follow, but at the moment the Dmitriev idea does seem to fit in better with all the prophecies.
Geoff, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us about 2012.
Thank you, Jenny.
2012 in Your Pocket was published by Fourth Dimension Press, an imprint of A.R.E. Press, and is available at arecatalog.com.